It's not being cut off.
Yep.
The point is, have you photographed it then?
Yes, I have.
This is an object found inside a wrapped pack of butter. It's a mouse, more accurately, half a mouse. And the scientists at this Public Analyst laboratory are finding out how it got there and what risk it poses to public health.
Hi, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
From Environmental Health. How are you?
Welcome.
Good.
Yes.
Just want to have a look around the shop.
Yeah,
Okay. Everything all right?
yeah, thank you.
How's business?
Bossela Joseph is a food safety inspector.
Okay.
She makes checks wherever food is stored or sold.
Properly labelled. No mouldy mushrooms. We haven't got any bruised peppers here. Quite a number of brands of rice along this patch here. Oh yeah, there's colourful spices.
One of the things she's following up today is a complaint from a customer about pounded yam. The suspicion is that the product sold does not in fact contain only yam.
There's some concern about this product. It's pounded yam. There's probably nothing wrong with it. But I'm going to buy a sample and send it off for testing.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning. I'm Bossela from the Environmental Health Department in Haringey, and I brought some samples along to be analysed.
Thank you.
There's the paperwork.
Thank you.
So what do I do now?
What you need to do, you need to fill the details in for me, the date, the time, the client.
Okay. What do I do now?
What we do now is I will enter the sample onto the system.
Okay.
I will then take the sample down to sample entry and then taken to be analysed.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
So do you want to talk me through what you're going to do today?
Yeah, but so today I'll be looking at the starch grains in the sample you just brought in, and just identify what sort of starch it is. At the moment, I'm just tipping a little bit into our sample pot. Taking a little bit of the sample and putting it on the slide, just very little amount. So what I'll be doing now, I have to actually saturate it by putting some water in there. Here we go. This is the cover slide.
Okay.
So you just make sure it's not dirty. Put it on top. Just do that. So what we're going to be doing now, just looking at it under the microscope.
Okay.
You can look at the grains and see, you can see the grains actually. This is potato. You have some potato grains there.
And how would you know that?
The sizes and the shape is different from, because the starch has different grains, so you could tell from the sizes and the shapes. Would you want me to take a photograph of that?
Yes, please.
Bossela, what we have is mostly potato starch, not yam as specified in their product.
This is a picture or a photograph of the sample which was taken from the microscope. This is another set of pictures. We've got the potato starch in one and yam in the other. They look very, very similar. How are we able to differentiate them?
Basically, it's the size as well as the shape. With the yam, it's rounder in shape compared to the potato, and the sizes are much more smaller as well. A clear way of distinguishing between the two is to measure the sizes and feed it on collect the data and feed it onto the computer into distribution.
Is that what we see here in
Yes.
this histogram?
Yes. Looking at the histograms, you expect to find yam grains of this particular size of at least 70% or more, and less percentage of the potato grains.
So we can actually conclude that the sample hasn't got any yam in it whatsoever.
No, it hasn't.
Now I'm going to fill you in on a few horrors I've come up against whilst working as a food safety inspector. A pizza is a lovely food, but what happens when you find a fly on top of the toppings? The public analyst is able to determine at what stage the fly finds its way into the pizza. I've got 2 test tubes here. Both contain a solution. We see a clear solution here and we see a yellow solution here. The phosphatase test has been carried out. The clear solution indicates that the fly has actually been cooked in the pizza, while the yellow solution tells us it hasn't been cooked in the pizza. The public analyst is able to do this and tell us what's actually happened. Your sandwich box. A nice salmon and cucumber sandwich. But what happens when you find something that looks like glass? On a number of occasions, we find tiny crystals which take on the appearance of glass. Struvite is a naturally occurring mineral. It contains magnesium, ammonium phosphate. It has the appearance of glass and is known to cause a lot of distress for people. It also is found in salmon. It looks like glass, it's colourless, it's tasteless, but it will not cause any harm. The public analyst is able to determine whether it is actually glass or the magnesium ammonium phosphate, otherwise known as struvite. Now, this is a pie. It probably looks good, but what happens when you bite into it and then you find this mold? On the subject of pies, this is a sausage roll with what looks like a mouse tail. In fact, it isn't a mouse's tail. It's actually a blood vessel from the meat, which we actually use to manufacture the sausage roll. It causes a lot of distress, but I tell you, it will not have caused any harm. It's just nasty and shouldn't be there. However, this flour actually contained these, and these are real nice drop-ins. Fun enough, whilst filming today, we received a sample of butter which contained half a mouse. I wonder where the other half went.